The video here, and the way I do my notes is always the same. I do a double slide so that I always write on this side, so I'm sorry to you guys, you'll see my back half of the course because I'm writing like this. If I'm in the way and you can't see, I'd like to be kind and say, Mr. Sadler, your hair is blocking the board, okay? Ethan knows what I'm talking about. It gets in the way, I get it, okay? And it can really be any part of my body that's blocking the board, but if you can't see, say, Mr. Sadler, can you please move out of the way, your hair is blocking the board. Everyone got that? Okay, then no one's offended and all is well. I'm also very sensible in the hair, so minimize the hair goes. All right, have a piece of paper, we're going to start with this, okay? Your date today is September 5th, and the title is going to be Grade 8 Review. Now, what should happen is, where are we here? On your table of contents, you're going to write, your table of contents will look something like this. Okay? So your title is Grade 8 Review, your date September 5th, and your page is 1. So page 1 is just because that's the first page in your notes. All right? And I'll sort of remind you every day for this for the first probably week. All right, so I want you guys just to get into good habits. If you get into good habits early, this course is going to be very nice for you. So when you're looking to study, you can find everything in a hurry. Okay? Before I continue, is there any need to pencil anybody else? No? Okay, does this make sense to people what we're doing here? Yes? Good? Ethan, I'm sorry, you're going to be here. All right, good? All right, here we go. Grade 8 review, I'm going to start with integers. Okay, I'm going to start with Michaela. Michaela, do you recall from grade 8 what an integer is by any chance?
Pardon?
Do you know what an integer is in grade 8 at all?
Oh, yeah, we did this. Oh, it's negative numbers.
Yeah,
Positive numbers.
right on. So we're going to say that these are positive and negative whole numbers. And you can pass by any one way or the other.
Throw it up.
No. Well, I hope you don't, because that was a gift from a student. Okay, so just pick either this person or this person. Okay, and we'll just sort of continue. Then after Jonathan, after you have just pass behind, then we'll go sort of like that. Okay? Positive and negative whole numbers. And we'll say negatives are opposites. So negative 4 is the opposite of 4. And there's the way, so if you couldn't see that. Okay, so when you think of negative 4, all that means is the opposite of 4. So 4 is like if you have 4 apples, that means you have 4 of something. If you have negative 4, it means you hold 4 apples. That's the opposite. If you add those two together, Jonathan, what would 10 and negative 10, if you add them together, what would it be?
0.
Good. All right, Jacob, pick on you. If I were to say 123 plus negative 123, what would that equal? 0. So you're just thinking they're always opposites. That's all we're talking about. Okay? So 4 and negative 4 is nothing. It just means the opposite. We don't know. All right? Now I'm going to go through a few quick examples here just to make sure that we feel good about integers. Ethan, we're going to start with you in a second. If you don't remember how to do any of this stuff, that's cool. Just raise your hand and say pass, or gently say pass. I won't pick on you on the first day, okay? But I want to make sure that we I want to make sure that you give it a try. All right. So here we go. Example 1. All right, Ethan, you get, since I like you so much, I'm going to give you an easy one. This is technically an integer question because that is a positive or a negative whole number. Now, this whole course will not be this easy. Ethan, what is 2 plus 3, please? Thank you. All right. Now, when I do a negative, I'm going to write it like this. Right, I'm just going to put the negative, I'm going to put a bracket around it just so that you know it's a negative. All right. Reagan, Regan or Reagan? Regan, sorry, Regan. What is, if 2 plus 3 is 5, what is negative 2 plus negative 3 going to be then? Negative 5, right? If both the numbers are the same, sorry, if both the numbers are the same sign, just like adding them, but they're adding to the negative. All right, Carolyn, you get one a little bit trickier. I'm just joking. These are integers. These are easy questions. These are easy questions. Negative 4 plus negative 9. Negative 13, right? I know what you're saying. You're saying, Mr. Sadler, I need this in grade 7. That's good. Then we get to one like this, which tends to get people. You guys are already in academics, you should be okay. Zachary, how you feeling about integers?
Decent.
Decent. Can you decently do this question then for me, please?
Negative 5.
Negative 5. How'd you get that? It is negative 5. I just want to explain this. Somebody's sitting at the back and doesn't know what happened. They got negative 5. What'd you do in your head?
I don't even really know.
Oh, that's amazing. It just came to you.
I just sort of did it.
The way I do it in my head, I sort of treat that like they're opposites, so I like subtract. It's like 8 minus 3, but it's the negative's bigger, so I make it a negative. That's what I do it in my head. Yeah?
What we learned in grade 8, we always wrote timetables, and we wrote negative plus negative equals negative, positive plus positive equals positive, and negative plus positive equals negative.
Okay, but that is not always the case.
It isn't?
It is for multiplying, it's not for adding. Okay, so let's look for this one. I'm glad you gave that example. Let's say I do something like, oh, I don't know. Is that going to be a negative answer? Oh, that's just like 29 minus 3, right? Or 29, so that's going to be positive. That rule works for multiplying, and I'm going to do that in a second.
Okay.
But just for adding, there's no fixed rule like that. It's going to be 26. Okay, F. Flying here. Okay, this one's a little bit different, and I'm going to give Kaylee, I'm going to give Kaylee a second before she answers this one. This is 18 minus negative 4. These are the types of questions that give high school students headaches. But I want to make sure you guys can do all this stuff no problem before we do it. So Kaylee, I'm going to give you about 10 seconds.
14.
Okay, so I know what you just did 18 minus 4, right? That's 14. What's the rule? Can somebody help here? Because I just missed. What do two negatives together turn into?
Positive.
Yeah, so you can just write this as, I'm going to do this in 2 steps, I think, for the first time today. So that's going to be 22. Right, like a negative and a negative together. Negative just means opposite, right? So minus negative 4 means the opposite of negative 4, which is just a plus 4. Okay? Is that coming back to some people, I think, a little bit? Okay, I'm going to give you guys all about 30 seconds to do this one, and then I'm going to pick on Emily. So I'm going to give everyone a few seconds to try this one. Here we go. Oh, I should mention, I didn't mention this yet. There's no calculators on the first test, okay? So all the stuff we're doing are going to be small numbers. I'm giving you your timetable so you can use that if you need to, but there's going to be no calculator. I want to make sure things like integers you can do just, with your fingers and toes, okay? So, I'm going to pick on you in about 30 seconds, okay? So everyone take a second to try this one out. This may be a 2 or 3 stepper. You can throw it over or gently pass it. And then we'll go. So take a few seconds to try this one out yourself, okay? You guys can do this. I have great confidence in you. If you need to write it out, go ahead. The way I'm going to do it on the board, I'm just going to start with the first 2 and ignore number 3. Emily's going to give me that, and then we'll continue on after that, okay? Jamie, you're all done? You said you're thinking this. I do it in 2 steps, so I do the first 2 numbers first, and then you can continue from there. Is that pronounced Mason? Is that the correct pronunciation? So I put Mason and Mason right beside each other. I'm sorry. In my first class, I had 3 Nicholases. So like one's Nicky, one's Nick, and one's Nicholas. So don't. So sorry if I don't mean to give you a nickname. All right, enough stalling. Emily, how do you feel with the first 2? If I say negative 13 plus negative 8.
Negative 21.
Negative 21. I'm just going to do this in 2 steps. Very good. Negative 21 minus negative 7. Okay. Ariana. 21 minus negative 7. What do we do with those two negatives? What do they turn into?
Positive.
Okay, so it's going to be negative 21 plus 7. And what does that turn into, please? Pass, that's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to the back here. Uh-oh, I don't have your name on this one. Brooke, what is negative 21 plus 7, please? Pass? Okay, it's okay. It's the first day. I know you guys saw it. You just feel to do nothing here. Somebody help her out here. Rory, go ahead. How'd you get that? That is correct. Yeah, and because the bigger number is negative, it goes negative. So you do like 21 minus 7, and that's 14. But because the bigger number is negative, it's negative 14. That's why they went ahead too. Okay? All right, here we go. Multiplying, dividing integers. What time is this class ending? Do you guys don't know? 11:45? Okay, we'll be able to finish this one. Multiplying and dividing integers, and this is, I'm going to bring up the by the way, I'm just going to interrupt myself here. Okay, so Taylor and Ariana wanted to pass on the last one, that's fine. If you're going through this and you're not sure, just raise your hand and ask how I got something. Okay, because I don't want this class to go by and you say, sorry, Jacob, I'm picking on you, and Jacob goes, he started talking, I didn't understand anything that came out of his mouth, okay? If that's the case, just interrupt me and say, can you go through that again, or can you, try it a different way? Because these things we're going through here are things we need for the course quite a bit. Okay? So we're talking about multiplying and dividing integers. Do you want me to write the rules on the board? I'll write the rules on the board. Here we go. So I take a positive and I times that by a positive. This is called, when you get to high school, a dot means multiply. Okay, because we deal with x's, so I don't put a big times table. All right, I'm going to pick on you, Jamie. Jamie, what is a positive times a positive? Is it positive or negative?
Negative.
Just wait. If I were to tell you 3 times 2, and you're back in grade 4, what's 3 times 2 going to be? 6. Is it positive 6 or negative 6?
Positive.
Positive. So positive and positive is positive. Okay? Okay. If I do a positive times a negative. Rory just answered, I'm going to go to you again. What's a positive times a negative, please? Negative. I should mention here, all that a negative means is flip the sign. Okay, so you start with the positive, you multiply negative, and you're flipping it then to negative. Does this come back for most people from grade 9 or grade 8? Not at all? You think you got the hair at least, okay, that's one thing that works for you. All right. Is this new to people? This is somewhat familiar to most people, I hope, right? No. One person nod her head. Carolyn, I love you because you nod your head every time I ask you. If anyone else has these course school sheets, I'll take them too. You just want to fold them right back there someplace. Okay, story for solving. Laura, you're up. If I do a negative times a positive, is it going to be positive or negative? Okay, now let me just show you why here, okay? You're starting at negative, positive doesn't switch anything, right? So it just stays the same sign, okay? So you start with a negative number, you multiply a positive, nothing switches, so it stays negative. All right, and Ryan. If I start with a negative and then I multiply a negative, what's it going to be, please? I'll help you through it. Remember, a negative says flip, right? So you start with a negative, then you're going to flip it, so it's going to turn to be? Very good. Okay. So just remember that negative means flip when you're multiplying. It just means flip the sign. Does that make sense for a lot of people? You've seen this? A lot of people have seen this? Okay, 2 knots, that's good. It's better than 1, okay? All right, let's do a little bit of multiplying. Whoa. Okay, example 2. All right, we're gonna go through the first ones a little bit quick. If you don't know, that's okay, but you can do it. I'm gonna start with Emma. Emma, is that
6.
positive or negative?
Positive.
Very good. 3 times 2 is 6. Right, and remember just how we did that. If you're sitting in the back saying, I don't know what happened, it starts as a negative, flips when there's that negative, flips to positive. Okay? All right, Zoe, our next victim. Sorry, did I say victim? I didn't mean to say victim. Okay, now you did some steps. You can do it all in one step if you want to, Zoe. It does not matter to me. I'll do it in steps because we want to show our good high school brain here. So Zoe, I'm going to start with you. What's 4 times negative 3, please?
-12.
Negative 12, very good. Now how she got that, once she looked at her chart, which is okay, and it's very good. I put this up here so you can use. But the other way to think of it is, it starts to positive, and it flips to a negative, right? So it's to a negative. Very good. All right, Craig, 12 times negative 2 turns to what, please?
-24.
Negative 24. Okay. Before I continue, please be brave and raise your hand if something didn't make sense. Please be brave. Okay, because if nobody talks, I'm just going to keep making more difficult questions, right? Yeah, you're up next. How are you feeling? Oh, that's a giggle. Was that a giggle meaning you feel great, or a giggle meaning you don't want to Spider-Man? What's that? You can do it. Okay? Letter C. Oh my goodness. I'm going to give the whole class a few seconds to do this one because I got mean on this one. Okay. We're in high school. Hold on a second. We're in high school, so you guys can do this. What I would recommend, if you can't do it all in your head in one step, and some people can, just do the first 2 numbers. Then when you have that, multiply by the next one. Then when you have that, multiply the next one. Okay? Everyone take 30 seconds to give it a try. Now, nobody go home sad because we're doing negatives today. Get it? Okay. My jokes are horrible. I don't want some like dad jokes on like the internet. That's what I'm all about, the dad jokes. Okay, so I'm a dad, so if you don't know what those are, Google them tonight, and they'll be awful, awful puns. Okay, now I'm going to show you the slow way and the quick way to do this. We'll start with the slow way. Okay. Mia, I'm going to pick on you first, if you don't mind. Oh, you're still working, okay? So the slow way is to do each step at a time here, okay? So Mia, what's negative 2? If it's negative times a negative, what's it going to turn into? Plus 1. And 2 times 2 is? Good, so it's going to equal 4 times negative 2 times negative 3. Great. We're going over to, we're going over to Jaden. Jaden, can you catch? There you go. Jaden, so now we're from the left to right. 4 times negative 2, is that going to be positive or negative?
Positive.
Okay, close, but no. Now the reason is, it's starting as positive. Negative means flip it. So it's going to start at positive, flip to negative then. Okay, so negative. 4 times 2 is? Okay. And last but not least is Taylor. Negative times a negative is going to be what? Good. And if you're not using your sheet, you can just think of it as a negative and it flips to be a positive. 8 times 3 is? Very good. Okay. Now, what I'm also going to do for you guys in your first test, I'm going to print out a times table here for you. It'll be on your test, so you can use this if you need it. One thing I'm going to add, you mentioned this with the times table. You don't really need it in grade 9, but in grade 10, you super duper duper need it. So if you don't have it now, make sure you get it by next year. Okay. All right, I'm going to show you the fast way how to do this. Ready for the fast way? Because that took a long time. Here's the fast way. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to check the sign first. So I start with a negative and I multiply by negative. That makes it what? Positive. Positive times a negative makes it? A negative times a negative makes it? So I went all the way through and just did the signs first and I found out it was positive. Then all I have to do is multiply the numbers. 2 times 2 is?
4.
4 times 2 is?
8.
8 times 3 is? 24. So you can do it the fast way like that too. Okay? On your test, that's okay. If it's worth 1 mark, you can give me 1 mark. If it's worth 3 marks, you got to show me 3 things. Does that make sense for how I mark things? Yes? Okay, so if this is a 1 mark question, you can just give me positive 24. Did that make sense the fast way how I did that? Just compare the positive and negative signs and multiply through. Okay? All right. Lucky you, Nathan. You're up next. Here we go. Letter E. D, I mean. Whoops. Now, I'm going to go through this nice and slowly to make sure that life is good. So I'm picking on Nathan. What does that funky sign right there mean between the 26 and the negative 2? That should be bracketed. What does that funky sign mean? Do you know? It's divided. What's another way I can write divided other than with that nice symbol? Slash, another one? What's the third way? What's the third way? Fractions, very good. So the other way I would write it, I am probably in class, I'd write it like this. Okay, so either way, either one of those mean the same thing. Now, when you divide, dividing is like the same thing as multiplying. Okay, except it makes it smaller instead of bigger. So the same rules apply. So Nathan, I'm going to pick on you again. What's a positive divided by a negative going to be?
Negative.
Very good. Now the way he got that, I'll use this version, was positive and negative flips it to be a negative. Now for the hard part, what's 26 divided by 2?
Negative 13.
Negative 13. Now there's a few ways to get that. Very good, thank you. The first way to get it is to just know your 13 times table, which nobody knows. Number 2 is you can just say, well, 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So that's another way to get it. Okay? Does that make sense to divide? It's the same as multiplying. Ethan, how are you feeling? You're going to hate me by the end of this semester. Doesn't he have beautiful hair, though? Like, just, you know, admit it. He does have beautiful hair. Sorry for everyone else. You all have beautiful hair. I don't want to put the rest of these. Okay. You're going to hate me. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Let's try this one here. E. All right. Hasten, you're up. What's a negative divided by a negative, please?
Positive.
Good. So negative 16 divided by negative 4 is? Yeah, 4. You don't write positive 4, just 4 is okay. Now, I know that was super fast because Hasten was super fast. Did that make sense where that came from? Okay, anyone unsure, please be brave and ask, because if not, I'm going to keep tracking. Keep trucking. So negative divided by negative change to a plus, and then 16 divided by 4 is 4. Good? Okay. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Now remember on your test you don't get a calculator, so this is something that I might give you one like this. Okay? Now, this one, very few people can do this in their heads. If you can, wonderful. Okay, like I know Aisen's on that, no problem, I got it as well. Okay? But if you can't do it in your head in one step, what's the way you guys used to divide? I don't remember how you used to divide. Yeah, go ahead.
Long division.
Long division. So I'm just going to spend in your test in case they give one you can't do in your head. Before we do our long division, is this going to be positive or negative? We're up to Mason. Is this going to be positive or negative? And how do you know?
Negative.
How do you know?
Positive.
Yeah, right on. Okay, that's going to be a negative. So then we're going to probably have to do this. Now, not everyone needs to do this, but in case you do. 4 into 232. Does anyone feel confident in their long dividing skills? You may not have seen this since grade 5. Okay? But you've never seen it? That's okay. So what you do is first is you're just breaking it down. I'll do this in different colors. you're just going to look at 23 first, okay? And you're going to think to yourself, how many times does 4 go into 23? Is that Sophia? Is that Sophia? How many times does 4 go into 23? 5 times. Okay, so what we're going to say then is 5 times 4 is 20, right? So what we did is you just multiply this times this. All right, Michaela, we've gone around to everyone in the class today. That's so nice. Maybe someone that's listening to my jump and give that to Michaela. Oh, look at that, it worked. Okay, Michaela, do you remember what to do at this step of long division by any chance?
Sorry?
Do you remember what to do at this step in long division by any chance?
The next step is?
Yeah, what do I do now? I got my 20. Remember what to do?
Oh, then subtract,
Yeah.
bring down the 2.
Okay, we're going to subtract first, then we're going to bring down the 2. So that turns into a 3. Then what you do, you're exactly right, you're going to bring down the 2. I put down I use an arrow, but you don't have to. Okay, so the 3 turns into 32. Okay? Jonathan, how many times does 4 go into 32? He's freezing, that's okay. I'll help you out here. Start your 4 times table, we go over until we hit 32. La 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 la. So it's going to be. Okay. And you get your times table on the test. So this should be then 58. So this is negative 58. Okay. Now before I say, oh, Mr. Sadler, I haven't seen this before, when are we going to use long division? In grade 12, you will have to use long division again with x's. Okay, so when you're in my grade 12 class, you say, I don't remember long division, I'll say, I know, Carolyn, I taught you this in grade 9 on the first day of school. I'll say that to you. Okay, so that wasn't meant as an insult, okay? Don't take, if I'm just a joker, so please don't take anything I say too seriously, okay? I'm not here to get anybody. Okay. All right, was that sort of okay? Okay, we got 5 minutes. We got this new silly, you know those stepper, what are they called? This is a Fitbit, and I bought one and another one for myself this summer because I'm walking to school. But this is a crappy one because it doesn't, this is how it reads the time. Sorry, Fitbit, if you're listening to this. Like, how's that even a time? I don't like it. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Your homework tonight is threefold. If you want to write this down, your homework is going to be, and you can begin some of it right now. Number 1 is sign course outline. Number 2 is watch video with your parents. This is a good quality time. And number 3 is your homework sheet, which you may begin right now. I think we have about 8 minutes left today. Okay? So I'm going to pass this around. Okay, now what I want is by the end of today, you are a pro. At the end of tonight, you are not afraid of the scissors if you're afraid already. Okay, it looks like a lot, but it's not a lot. These are all facts, okay? What I want is after trying to do this, you're saying, wow, I'm great at integers. That's what I want to happen, okay? If, let's say, you lose your homework sheet, lucky for you. How do I get there? Lucky for you, you go to homework. Look at that, your homework sheet's right on the web too. Okay, so if you go home and you leave your home, you can't say I left my stuff at home because it's already online too. Okay? Now you can do this on the bottom of the page if you want to, or on a fresh sheet of paper. It doesn't matter to me. Either one will work out fine. I'm going to come around tomorrow and check to make sure it's done. There is math help every day at lunch. So let's say that Ethan, I'm going to plug you because I love your hair. Ethan goes negative. Didn't make any sense to me, Mr. Sadler. Can you spend 5 minutes going through them? I can right after this class, no problem. Okay, so again, remember, I want you guys to do well in the class. I want you to kick butt. if you're afraid today, I'm sorry. Okay, that's just the way I teach is the speed. That's what I do. And thirdly and finally, can everyone just take this and stick it in their binder for tomorrow so that I don't, Thank you.